So we just bought this wire EDM machine from 1986. Today, we're gonna walk around it, kind of do a first look at it and see what we got and if we think we can make it work again and put it to work building your parts. Let's check it out. Okay, so one thing you might be wondering is, what is a wire EDM machine? Well, it's a machine that uses a really fine piece of wire, say 10,000ths of an inch in diameter, and high voltage to create sparks and erode metal. So you can very accurately cut. It's probably one of the most accurate machining methods there is. Little bitty pieces that are very accurate, things like gears for watches. One of the really cool things about it is it doesn't have any cutting force from the tool because there's not a tool that's actually touching the material. It's just sparks and electricity. Now, we have a lot to learn about wire EDM and EDM in general. I've never run one of these machines. We've sent a lot of parts out to get EDM'd before, but we need to maybe bring that in-house because we've encountered issues with lead times in the past. But EDM machines are really expensive. A new machine would easily be over $250,000 or more, depending on the features that we wanted, and we're not prepared to outlay that kind of cash. So I've been looking for used machines, and you could get used machines that were in pretty good shape. You know, I could go see them running for a lot less than $250,000, but still more than I wanted to spend. So that's where this machine came in. One thing that I get asked by a lot of people is, how do you find this stuff? Well, this one, I have saved searches on eBay, I have searches on Facebook Marketplace for wire EDM machines. It just so happens that a few months ago, this machine came up for sale, but I wasn't really thrilled about the price. I'd messaged the seller and asked, is this under power? Can I see it cut? And no, it wasn't. It had been under power when he bought it and he'd seen that do production, but he didn't have it under power now. So I didn't really think that that price was compatible with that. We talked every now and then, and now many months later, we actually reached an agreement on a price. So we went over and got it. And there's a whole video, there's a whole short and another long video as well on the process of moving it, which was quite a challenge. So we finally got everything set to where I was comfortable with the price. I was gonna have to pay for some rigging and moving expenses, and we've got to get it moved in here and get it connected to power, and we have to learn a lot, but this would be a good machine for us to learn on. It's a relatively basic machine, being as old as it is, manufactured in 1986. And a lot of the parts that we send out for EDM are relatively basic parts. So even if it just does a couple of jobs, it'll probably pay for itself, and then we get some experience as well, and we learn, is EDM really a tool that we need in our shop or not? So let's take a quick look around the machine. All right, so here it is in all of its glory. This is a Sodick AP-150 fine system, manufactured in '86. One of the things that made me interested was these little membrane keyboards normally are all worn out and have everything worn off. This one is still in great shape. It looks almost new, which made me wonder how much this machine had really been used. I mean, I've seen machines where commonly used buttons are practically worn through. So on the control panel here, we've got our keyboard, I'm assuming a stop switch, some control keys, CRT brightness for the screen. Yep, it's still an old cathode ray tube screen. There's even an oscilloscope up here. I don't know what that's all about yet. Over here, this is the main work area. So the wire is right here. It's a very small wire, very hard to see. And there's some fixturing. There's even some little pieces down here that were being cut on the machine. There's some controls up under there. If we open the lid here, we can see all the pulleys. This is the spool of wire that gets routed through. The wire is single use. One of the features that I thought was kind of cool on this is, now we can simulate things, but before that, you would put, I'm assuming, a piece of paper and a pen here and dry run your program, and it would draw the path that it's going to take, because a lot of times you'd be hand coding this. So that's kind of neat. If we go around the machine here, a lot of EDM systems use water. This one is designed to use oil, and it actually chills the oil, but oil is flammable. So there's a fire extinguisher that's automatically triggered down here and sprays out some heads back here. little kind of like shower heads. There's the oil reservoir. It's very large. It's about 87 gallons of oil, and the filter, and there is an oil temperature cooler as well. I was really shocked by the range on this. So it's set from -15 to 15 Celsius. So it keeps the oil pretty cool. It's an old R22 refrigerant unit. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge if it has issues. I will have to rig something else in there. And then if I open the electronics cabinet here, you can see all of the glorious through-hole and relay systems. There's lots more to the electronics, but we're going to assume that all works for now. It did last time the machine ran. I really like these latches too. They're nice spring back latches. Down here there is a serial port where we can feed programs in. But what's really cool is up here, it's a little hard to see, this is a tape reader. So this would take punched paper tape and read programs in off of it. Not something you see every day anymore for sure. So we've got a lot to learn here. Like I said, we don't really know a lot about EDMs. Luckily, this EDM came with all the original training documentation and manuals and schematics. So we have a lot to go from. It's gonna be a process. First though, we've gotta get it moved back into place here in the shop where it's gonna go, get it hooked up to power and see if we can get it to turn on. So be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned to see our progress with this and all of the other cool things that we do around here to make sure that your science keeps rolling.